LCK matchup, the crowd's starting to fill out here as time goes on. And for DAMWON Gaming, surely going to be a favorite.
Absolutely. With Flame in the roster, it's a bit different, but Showmaker's on Akali, and that's where the business starts. And sometimes that's where the YouTube highlight members get ready to start clipping it.
People love Norgri, but I'm sure people paid for the day one tickets and came and saw Flame and were like, hang on, we're getting our money's worth here today. As we head ever so slowly onto Summoner's Rift for DAMWON Gaming, taking on EVOS. And they're ready. You can feel it, you can hear it. The stage looks amazing. We walked in, and we feel the atmosphere at the same time. Let's hop on in. DAMWON taking on EVOS in day one of Rift Rivals.
Understandably not going to be a responding chat. We did the, you know, we're gentlemen over here. We gave them their chance. They couldn't take it. Sorry, EVOS fans. Important note, looking around, we're about 60 to 70% full now, so definitely warming up. Tickets for the final day, and I imagine the weekend best of fives when they're confirmed. If LCK is playing in both of them, then there's a real chance we'll have some full houses here on a Thursday, working Thursday at around 5 p.m. local time. I mean, LOL Park doesn't fill up till about 6:30, so slowly, slowly. Always nice to hear the cheers, though.
I assume we'll get a lot of the LPL fans on that day 3 and day 4 as well, depending on how things go. So travel times at the ready.
So how are we doing when it comes to Karma versus Urgot top lane? Already a big surprise, right? One of the champions that was surprisingly good into Karma top whenever it's been in meta, and kind of similarly good into Jace is Urgot, right? Because, it's not Urgot, it's, sorry. Urgot on the mind, as you can imagine. But some of the top laners that can really cramp the style on the top side here are ones that can actually make it accountable. Gragas top into Jace was one we had that was pretty big, but Yorick was the champion I was trying to get to. Where if you get the cage down, suddenly the champion who wants to overextend for Klepto and also turret damage is accountable. Now Urgot has that similar, very short gap closer, but if you get the flip onto Karma, even with movement speed, that's a lot of lane to try to get down. However, earlier than that, you're tanking Qs and auto attacks for days, so it should be just free gold for Flame on his return to the starting line.
First level already looking pretty punishing for Meows in this top lane. Remember that for Flame, 1, 2, 3, going to be the biggest factor here as well. Walks up, hits 2 first, bit of Klepto free gold. And Saka gold that comes through with 100 in the back pocket is a great way to enter Summoner's Rift.
But let's talk about this LMS VCS squad and top lane expectations, because again, they've gone for a lane that doesn't make that much sense on paper unless you're ganking it. So, heavy expectation that Gragas might make a visit top now. Predator Gragas, famous for needing that first shot to get the keystone. It's just going to mean that early laning phase should be just the most awful, as anyone who's faced some of them tank Karma top lanes. No guarantee it's going to be tank, but definitely Karma laning phase, very, very powerful. The small power down was just slow percentage, so the number's still pretty high when it comes to those base damages.
Also, good opportunity now to talk about how DAMWON are playing some of the similar style we've seen in the LCK. I noticed you mentioned the praying gorilla bottom lane there from Nuclear and Beryl, but Tahm taken away, having to flex between a different style of lane. Nuclear still showing exactly what he would on something like the Varus and the Tahm duo as well.
And it's really the only query of DAMWON is the best teams in the world can adjust their win conditions. This is JackeyLove's pop-up game. Actually, the Shy is popping off today. Rookie's in great form. The problem for DAMWON has been consistently, if Nuclear and Beryl, if Nuclear has all the gold, he hasn't been able to step up and actually, you know, lead with his face in team fights and super outplay like the best 80 carries. You're thinking of Deft and players like that are able to. So that gold has not been as well invested. Flame on the roster also isn't of that reputation, so it does make it a lot about Showmaker. On Akali, it is a champion that can win in a 4-1 if he can get solo kills in the side lane. Does scale into some spots. The Ryze matchup is one that's kind of up in the air with all the changes to Ryze. If you guys are not aware, Ryze lost the ability to basically root instantly. The W no longer is just click on the enemy and get it. You have to have the E first. It's an empowered ability. Also, the push, the amount of pushing should work really well against Akali early. Pre-Gunblade, pre-level 9 and the extra wave clear. You E a wave, you Q it, it auto bounces, it auto pushes. The amount of push and lane control you have if you're not being ganked is high. but you are much squishier because those shields that used to be for days are now pretty much gone.
That's right. Showmaker taking Electrocute into this lane and Ignite, so if that doesn't spell confidence for the mid laner of DAMWON Gaming, I don't know what does.
Let's see what style DAMWON want to take, because I think Karma joining the troops and Akali in the side lane, even with Ignite, is one way they can go. They can also just try to snowball hard. Very good lanes to gank here for DAMWON Gaming. Karma deceptively strong on the game because the tether is so long.
Yeah.
Even before the mantra is used. Zyra Khan, obviously a lot of engaged threat there, and Akali post 6 going to have some options. Canyon going for a very early Drake start here. They know Gragas' top side. He was spotted on a wall.
Yeah, no way getting the vision, not going to mean too much. Control Ward dropped down, but to contest this means that we need to see Rise coming down as well. 1k, 900. This is going to be a smite through Spirit. Goes down, no way. Wanting to take the fight like the VTS do, but DAMWON respond. They respond with a burst blood. Sorn coming through as well with Predator. He can't pop away. Canyon blocks him. On top of him as well, and Canyon just wants to follow up. Sonic Wave, resonating strike, and to get away, Sorn is going to need a miracle, but everyone flashes in the end, and it's 2 kills for DAMWON to kick us off.
It's a flash party at the end to justify the teleport from Flame. He'll probably want to have a do-over and go back to just hard farming on the top side. The ward, the aggressive ward, I believe placed by Flame on one of his early pushings on the Urgot lane, spotted Gragas. They knew the Drake was theirs. EVOS were in 2 minds. We knew they were going to be bloodthirsty. We knew they were going to try to fight, but they don't choose the right time. If you watch the replay here, it's kind of a half-hearted contest by EVOS. They get into melee range, the smite is late, but the moment the first CC hits, the Blade Caller spells the end for the Nautilus.
Yeah, didn't want to commit as well, trying to zone away Showmakers, so a really good coordination here from DAMWON, even burning 3-4 flashes, I think it was in the end. Becomes worth it when you now have a 2-0 bottom lane about Nuclear. The question then becomes, Pupper, you're talking about before, will Nuclear be able to transition this further for DAMWON?
Well, if you have enough of an item lead, it does become easy, right? And the other thing to talk about here is it's cool to see Canyon making a smart map call based on vision and force the objective on his own. In the LCK, he very often becomes a super best friend for whichever of Noggery or Showmaker is popping off, and then, you know, just pox in the lane. Think of him a very clear love style in that way. So it's good to see capitalizing on vision, getting an objective. It's not about the power of lanes in that play, so that part is encouraging, because if Canyon can just start making solo good decisions, it's another layer of a delicious cake for DAMWON game.
Opened up a super good early game for the Lee Sin as well. Caulfield's Warhammer picked up, but you're looking at top side for small item power spikes there as well, and Flame with the Klepto. Starting to accumulate some of the gold. The Sheen picked up there notably to kick us off.
I see Sheen cloth armor and I see Shakarez's face in my mind from so many different Twitter gifs and posts about tank Karma.
Yeah.
Remember, it does make the Karma accountable. The shields won't just be enough if you get into that death range from the Fear Beyond Death. However, when it comes to Iceborne Gauntlet running at Urgot, it's going to be a lot of wiffle bats kind of hitting each other, not a lot of kind of true damage coming in, but lane control for the Karma will extend.
Especially when to get that shield to sustain it out, survive it out. The Urgot needs to dash in, so part of the response of the nerfs that we were talking about a little bit before. Mia's still getting pushed up in this lane and starting to accumulate a bit of a CS lead here is Flame, and that's the interaction we're talking about. If Mia's can't land on top of Flame, the trades just look oh so good.
But actually, while it looks like a scuff trade, you're like, oh, he couldn't even get the flip, what's he doing? It is actually just to get the shield so that you can wave clear. Remember, you don't get press W and get a shield anymore. And it's why it seemed like a very kind of fanciful matchup, is that you really are taking damage trades against the Karma, and you have to use your gap close in order to just try to even small shrug them off. The power changes. We haven't seen a lot of Urgot. The reason why Jungle Urgot made more sense is you kind of have to go Warrior, Black Cleaver, Guardian Angel, because you get a lot of even shield scaling with your AD. Like the AD scaling was amped up, but all the free tankiness. We kind of have the damage crew that replaced the tanky DPS crew, because both Rise and Urgot used to be shrugging off trades, kind of build, have a lot of innate tankiness and build more tank on top of it. Both of them have lost it, so it does feel almost outdated, but also a new kind of draft.
Lanes that they used to not win. DAMWON down towards the bottom side. We're seeing a bit of a dive puffer. Sorn hits level 6 as well. He wants to get the bottom lane of DAMWON, but not going to be in range, and Canyon backs away as well. So aggression here from EVOS that wants to get started.
On the top side of the map, Flame just having free time on the turret. You plug in 1,000 gold lead for Karma in a matchup like this. Klepto Karma, you know, that's just no way to stave that off. Was a counter gank spot or a potential lane gank from the jungler of EVOS, but Canyon and the rest of the team were rotating over. Only meaningful CS lead with that early damage, and Akali kind of being pretty defenseless in a pre-6 environment. Is a decent 15-odd CS lead in mid. Otherwise, CS for CS in bot, 10 CS lead in top. The lane numbers are pretty honest. So far, the only surprise, those 2 kills gift-wrapped to Zaya.
And that's a BF sword, that's a pickaxe as we're seeing. We'll see where it goes now, because remember, Essence Reaver in 9-13 changed towards the BF sword. You're not going to be seeing that pickaxe as the starting option anymore. So already there with the Caulfield's Warhammer, and it begins now closer towards that first item at 10 minutes.
It actually was kind of a meaningful change going from that pickaxe to BF sword for Essence Reaver. The Essence Reaver power level has been talked about a lot. That's why Sivir and the Zaya have been kind of the auto lock-in 80 carries. Is that trade. Both skill shots go wide. The BF sword means that you can't go TP, get a really early pickaxe, come straight back, and the enemy either has to match you with kind of a non-BF sword buy and feels bad, or has an item disadvantage. So the extra 2 kills coming in when they did is kind of mean he has a BF sword of pickaxe timing. That's a pretty nice thing as here we go.
Means they can make the roam into the mid lane. The flash is there with the quickness, and Nuclear pulls back the feathers, gives Showmaker a bit of gold himself, and EVOS now pulling up the drag. This is a bold move, but unsighted.
Yeah, it's ships in the night, right? They went to go for the Infernal Drake as DAMWON were going for the mid lane, and DAMWON end up trading overall the Infernal Drake for a kill and Rift Herald, which is instantly jammed top. And this Karma problem, it's an Urgot problem for now. Pretty soon, it's going to be an everyone problem.
I think we're going to see the potential to dive as well up towards this top side. Canyon sticking around. Rift Herald eventually going to drop down, and maybe it stops for now. Sonic Wave is going to connect here from Canyon underneath turret. There's a 2-level difference. Canyon going to be locked up first. Ignite gets dropped down just to get him away, and that'll do the trick, but still the problem not quelled enough here for me as liking.
Well, the Urgot is still someone you do not want to jump to turret dive. When I first started playing back in Season 1, I was on the official forums, kind of before Reddit took off. And there was a very famous meme when Urgot power level was super high and like 2010, 2011, which was a picture of Urgot saying jungle gank, double kill. And that's what can happen under turrets still to this day with the Fear Beyond Death. We see the replay in mid. You have to pre-pop the Rakan ultimate to actually get the full ability to use your suite of CC. It was pretty sweet CC. It got the kill, but bot lane, speaking of sweet CC.
Yeah, let's knock him up. Beryl gets pulled back in, and I don't think DAMWON have a chance. They're now left with Nuclear in a 1v4. Pops the feathers to fly, but the explosive cast with the lockdown of Rune Prison. Even the Urgot comes down. DAMWON lose their bottom lane instantly, but get the top lane turret. Momentum still there. They're looking for that trade.
It's a party in the bot lane. They get the double kill, but the lane state around it is a pretty painful one. They're going to need to back this up with multiple turret plates, and you want to get greedy, and you kind of want Soren and No Way to stop crowding out DivKid from just popping the turret plates solo, because if you're just sharing gold from this with the 2 kills, you're not actually getting kind of a super-powered Kai'Sa, which should be the minimum for an entire party in the bot lane at 12 minutes.
And enables him to match someone like Nuclear, who even though he died, he's still at that Essence Reaver now as well. So DAMWON still trading to an equal effect, still up 2,000 gold at almost 13 minutes, and EVOS trying to take bottom lane control as a response.
And we should confirm that No Way is subbing in for their recognized support in BioB. Do that full confirmation here. Was very surprising to us we weren't given the late mail on that one. Hard to know if there's anything there. We'll ask our producers after the game to see if there's anything to update you guys on, but it is definitely a role swap support from someone who's played only 80 carry. Most recently, here's the replay. Turns up, you send enough bad guys, you do kill DAMWON's bot lane.
Almost as fun to play, even if you're an 80 carry main. So helps secure EVOS with their first 2 kills of the game. Things were looking good, but DAMWON come right back to lane, switch things around. DivKid and No Way still pushed under this turret. And the fact that this is such an early game means that there's so much turret plating to take across the map.
But you don't want bot lane to be a children's birthday party where everyone gets a chance to cash in the gold pinata that is the turret plates. When you just invest everything to get a lead, for DAMWON to just reset from death and get free gold lets you know that they haven't been able to persist strength around the area they put everything into. And now we have just as many turret plates for DAMWON Gaming as we do for EVOS.
That's right. Majority went just onto Nuclear as well, so still reaping the benefits right now. Canyon moving towards this bottom lane. He's been spotted out, setting up for another 3v3 where DAMWON still having that priority, still having the opportunity to get the shove in afterwards.
And obviously Flame is really, really farmed, I guess we would call it, with farming Klepto and also the lane. He was proxying his top laner teleported away. Turret's going to go down on the bot side here. We were hoping for that relentless aggression. Definitely a very VCS-style turret dive bot, but the reset after that has been a little bit disappointing because now we reset to DAMWON actually just owning map control in all 3 lanes.
Yeah, they've only got one more turret to take in the outers, and that's through the mid lane where Showmaker's been farming away, catching back up to that rise. And the CS lead that once existed for this mid lane, which was such a good news story for EVOS, now no longer exists. And with Karma so far ahead, with the bottom lane there, DAMWON through 3 different lanes are taking their advantages and priority.
And the only person who's kind of feeling pretty good about themselves, Rise at the moment, got to farm out on a champion that can be very tricky to lane after the shield removals. You don't have the same windows. Against Akali you do, right? Because for the first 6 levels you're just range versus melee and shoving her in. Level 9 is when Akali gets 5 points in Q and can fight back, and Gunblade is the very famous power spike. What we can say, though, is the new build you see in solo queue from basically every Rise player is Doinby style. Obviously, you would know this very well. Righteous Glory, tankier because you just don't have the shields to baby you through any trades. You can go full damage, but you better have a front line on point.
Really good in composition like this as well, with the Gragas Urgot paired with him, so it makes sense. But for DAMWON to get to that second item, EVOS going to need a little bit more time because DAMWON forcing the issue in the mid lane and no way looking for something. Can't find the dredge one.
And do you want this fight? EVOS say yes, but it's 2200 gold lead, utility-focused build.
Yeah.
Coming through from Flame, who's grouped at the moment. We talked about how our expected 4-1 was the Akali in the side lane. That's what you were seeing. That's why EVOS tried to pull the trigger. Not going to be pulled off. Now Akali's here, and now EVOS, they probably should scram.
It's a Cloud Drake that's going to be contested, and one that for EVOS, walking towards it still. The question mark is there. DAMWON is a 5-man group, you're right. With Karma now level 11, that extra level onto Mantra. Shield's impenetrable, it feels like, and EVOS have no option. They're mid, they're top. What's the next play?
The timer just doesn't work for them at 16 minutes in. There's no way to just walk at Baron and say, what if we do this? Nope, you're not going to be doing that. There's nothing top side for you to take advantage of. The minion wave pushed out. DAMWON looking solid. Expecting the map play to be even crisper with Flame on the roster. And here's something I'm going to say, and I'm going to say it confidently. If someone on this team is playing Karma, Flame is the one you want. Engage not going to be able to hit there. Nice buffering of the CC with the grand entrance. We already saw Nuggery. He's the only guy who got to play Karma in the LCK. And you know what? He farmed and then he didn't have a carry, so he didn't know how to win.
That's true.
With Flame in the roster, it actually fits them perfectly because you expect all those finely pruned with like a green thumb Gardener style on the side waves that he's so famous for.
He's almost towards that third item. Remember that for Flame. Champion like this, just facilitating, as you said in Champ Select, that this is what Flame comes in to do. Facilitate the rest of DAMWON, and with Showmaker playing up, as you mentioned there before, a lot more opportunity for the rest of the members to shine.
And now EVOS, whose VCS style is, well, when in doubt, let's team fight our way out of it. Your problem is that if Karma is there, she has just the most items to be strong right now. Her build doesn't feel that great at 35. At 17, it is very scary. It's so hard to do any damage to the Mantra Inspire AoE shield you get with RE. Speaking of Mantra Inspire,
he's on the roam, he's on the move, and with those 3 items, the AP, the shielding, everything comes in perfectly here for the top laner of DAMWON Gaming. As they're still looking at this mid lane turret, something that EVOS are struggling to defend, and we're getting to that point where they might just have to supersede.
Barrel walking to the side, flash up here. Right now they don't need to dive to get chip damage in. Wait and see if there's a force.
Well, it's finally going to go down. DAMWON just run at it, and that seems to do the trick.
Gonna take it there. Hear the Korean side. They thought some action was coming, but EVOS had to either pull the trigger instantly, be super decisive, and the moment you think about the engage, it's too late. So smart of them to just pull away, but it's another advantage that piles onto DAMWON Gaming. Inspecting the inventory here, we do get tankier look. It is going to be a Catalyst and an Abyssal Mask, actually, on the way here. You think of Banshee Veil if you're Season 2 days, but it is going to be the Abyssal Mask coming through for the Rise. And you got to say, not the most allied damage outside of the Gragas to be empowering.
I was looking more at the element of denying Showmaker, Flame a little bit, but you're right. So still an opportunity for that when we go towards the third item, if we see the transition towards the Righteous Glory, or maybe something else is. Remember, it's the VCS, full of surprises.
We're always hoping, right? There is the real chance that it's like last year, where unfortunately LMS had one team that was competitive, the other 3 not, no victories between them. Right now, it feels like the LMS VCS squad together, the Dashing Buffaloes, you know, the former Fengvu Buffalo, They're undefeated in the VCS. They were able to take games at MSI. It's hard to see them going winless, but otherwise, a lot of the other teams here have been questioned, but we're always ready to see them pop off on the international stage and turn a domestic style into an impressive performance. But with the form DAMWON's in and the fact that EVOS haven't got a strong start, you're kind of already looking at the map and saying, all right, they've got some champions that can delete health bars, but if Karma's there, that sounds tricky. And if the map control doesn't go their way, what does a one-team fight happen? Like, where does it happen even is a fair question.
Because I even asked the question of when, because it's an infinity edge now on someone like Nuclear, who, with the Karma, to heighten him up. Nuclear's not dying anytime soon, and the engage just looks even better. Showmaker almost towards that second item himself.
All building here. All building towards, hopefully, a strong moment in the game for EVOS. We're past 20 minutes, so Baron suddenly is something that everyone has to check themselves on. Checking the brush here, getting control. Hard to establish too much control topside when Karma's been perma pushing, but goes wide.
Canyon lands the Sonic Wave now. An engage here for DAMWON, not necessary. Still have control of getting even more with vision in this top side. AD Carry sits mid. Karma back to the bottom side here as well. So a nice spread for DAMWON where they're just waiting for that second, third item on the Akala.
And all right, if you are the VCS fan tuning in here, we actually do have a lot of Vietnamese fans that watch on with the LCK, big Faker fans, big SKT fans, watching the English stream there. You got to look at what Dia can do. He's got a lot of items already, but here's the engage.
Well, there's a raging kick in the back line as Beryl comes in as well, finds the knockup. Now DivKid in a great position here as the Urgot ult goes a little bit wide. It was close, but no cigar, and actually not a bad fight considering how far behind EVOS are.
And DAMWON Gaming were pretty disconnected. Nuclear never even got an auto attack off in that fight. He was kind of chasing and chasing and chasing. Teleport is drawn by Flame. That means that the map can be a bit more square, can be about one objective at a time. DAMWON Gaming don't have any more teleports to play the map. No AD carry or mid lane teleport. You usually see kind of 3 of 3, or at least 2.
We're talking good news here for EVOS now. If No Way gets caught out, nope. Suddenly DAMWON switch on and Means jumps in as well. He has to flash away, but remember the taunt comes down, Flame sends himself in, and EVOS just lose one member just like that.
My eyes were fully dilated in a second because usually you put the supportless into the living for a bit. He was not even living on a prayer. It was done instantly. Didn't even have to use Showmaker's ult. He's kept it through all of this. Speaking of his ult.
Oh yeah, Swan might be caught out as well. Has to body slam away. Showmaker pops a perfect execution, gets flipped around. Now, Mears doesn't have the ulti available, but Urgot does what Urgot does. Unable to find Showmaker in the end, but still looking for those picks proactively.
Ends up just being a prank engaged there by Showmaker. I believe he did the same math you did of, well, Urgot isn't going to keep me accountable, therefore I can give it a go. The dashes don't work. We back away from all of it. DAMWON Gaming in a really comfortable spot here. Kind of like the first game. We haven't had breathless action, and yet the 4,000 gold lead is deserved for LCK.
It speaks wonders here as we look at how No Way got caught out moving through the mid lane.
Got a full health bar, right? Q into Xayah, Infinity Edge crits, and yep, that's an Infinity Edge right there.
Oh, the 2 items are surprising, and like I was saying before for EVOS, they turn this into a, less than nothing.
And can we really be super critical, given it's No Way their AD carry?
That's true.
Role swapping onto Nautilus. We don't know if this is a long-term plan or an immediate thing, but this is the reality we're living with, and unfortunately, he made kind of the rookie mistake of overrating your tankiness. I'm sure he's played plenty of lanes against support Nautilus where he's like, this guy doesn't take any damage.
Yeah.
Well, that time, he took a lot of damage.
It's those small windows where you're like, actually, I'm meant to be a tank, but Infinity Edge, as you pointed out there, Zeal as well on Nuclear, just rips through him at this point in the game. And there's a lot of spikes like that where we've been sitting on the needlessly large rod for Nuclear and Showmaker, excuse me, for a while. And you're expecting to see that finished up as we're still hovering around the Baron. Kali goes back, Void Staff, and another one of the needlessly large rod just added.
I actually like the Void Staff here because if they do go 4-1 with a no TP Akali, Void Staff gives kill threat against Abyssal Mask, Seraphs, and Merc Tread's Rise, and also no doubt the magic resist that will continue to be put together by the Urgot. Also, if it becomes about a Baron turn, you can catch the first person and Akali will be able to perfectly execute them.
Yep.
So I think in both kind of game states that you see this game going, and given the fact that DAMWON Gaming have map control, the Void Staff fits perfectly. So definitely a thumbs up on that one.
Playing the assassin game, just having a quick look at Golden. It was Nuclear who's got the biggest difference right now, that AD carry matchup. DAMWON still in the position where they need to show us that Nuclear can help DAMWON close out this game, enhance that lead that we already see on our screens at 24 minutes. He's in a perfect position to do so, and talking about items constantly.
That's because right now EVOS are kind of doing the sacrifice the minimum strat when you fall behind, and just don't really feel like they're threatening. We're waiting to see justification for the Rise. The lane matchup was good. You know, it's up in CS pretty comfortably. The pushing power makes sense against Akali early. It's just, what is Rise capable of now when the items start to roll? Is this going to be a Rylai's next? It's possible.
Ooh, okay.
As the next item there could also just be something like the Merlinomicon as a consideration. Doesn't cut down on shielding, though. You wish it did, right?
Yeah.
With what's going on the enemy side. But right now, you know, the Realm Warp needs to be the perfect one. Again, if you just rewind and play this in January, you're like, oh crap, the tanky Urgot gets the free trip into the backline with the ultimate, then 2 tanks get in the backline. And oh boy, you're in trouble. Well, it's very different now. On patch 9.13, both those champions do a lot of damage, but are very squishy. So if you're going to take a one-way trip, you could definitely be staring at the lights if it goes wrong.
Make sure it's the right one here for EVOS. Second item picked up now for the Urgot as well. And the adaptive helm that's going to do a lot against Showmaker. And of course the Karma as well. DAMWON moving across and setting themselves up, and DAMWON ready to get the pick.
But while they're ready for magic damage, they're not ready for Xayah crit. Speaking of Xayah,
that's a pick into the quickness, into the back line as well. Now Divkid in the position once again, but for DAMWON in the choke, it's going to be okay as long as Nuclear can keep running forward. But the Akali in the back line, Showmaker takes out 2 before getting corrupted himself. But Dia into the mid. Now for Canyon, gets taken out the ride, finally paying dividends, but Nuclear still lives. And the Xayah is whipping out chains. DAMWON with their bottom lane looking to go forward, but EVOS trading like that is still a good news story.
We get to see the Rise damage. We get to see the Xayah pop up. Both of them were likely, but Xayah having to choose between 2 split targets meant she could never fight front to back in awkward terrain around the enemy red buff. So yes, Xayah could have destroyed this fight, but the way EVOS played out and the flank that Dia was on actually made it hard, because this could have just been the game clincher for the side of DAMWON Gaming.
With someone like Nuclear who you're relying on here, and into the back, Showmaker almost got towards that 3rd, that 4th, that crispy outplay.
You see Dia is doing a lot of damage. The AoE, it's like old Rise from many moons ago. I'm not talking about the one from earlier this year. I'm talking about when he used to have AoE aplenty, right? His ult used to be Nikes plus all of his abilities doing sick AoE wombo. I feel like the AoE wombo might be back. Still remain to be fully convinced, but DAMWON Gaming, they choose a hard spot where they can't just have all the shields for days. Xayah run and just mow everyone down in the front line, and EVOS go way more even than the gold lead suggested.
Level 16 Rise there, 3 items on him as well, so starting to see how this composition works, and EVOS giving us something to fight for here. Dragon may go down, but still, 4K at this point in the game, considering where it was leading, is a tale for how this next fight will go.
So the hope for EVOS here is, if we can control and curtail one of Akali and Xayah, it's some sick no damage from Lee Sin, Karma, and Rakan. Especially relatively. Yes, a death cap is there, but obviously it's mostly for the utility on the Karma side. So if you can just delete one, and Rise, already we can see, can delete one person, there's a chance that DAMWON Gaming run out of damage. That could happen in this game, and if you can continue to fight in this like guerrilla warfare of your red side, there's outplay potential with things like the ultimate coming through from the Rise as well. So DAMWON have to be careful. This is not as simple as winning a 5v5 in even terrain.
I still want to take it though. Looking forward to that red buff. Baron's still sitting up. They want that pick, but again the engage comes through from no way. Canyon doesn't get to play. EVOS find the pick. There's a Realm Warp coming through as well to cut them off, and DAMWON have to go up now. Look at EVOS. The heal there. Showmaker in the backline goes over to Divkid. Wants the assassination. Nuclear from front to back while Showmaker has all the party in the backside. But again, it's the Rise who now heads to the rest of the fight. Nuclear with feathers up and back down. Goes explosive. And Golden at the same time, they get the knock up, and Nuclear still firing away. But look at Dia, the 1v3 possible.
It's really possible. You can see the damage potential, but it's another one of those scuffed fights where playing on multiple fronts, you exchange evenly. And anytime you exchange evenly and you're behind, you're taking it. EVOS is so happy they get the reset. They can push mid instantly. Welcome to New Rise, everybody.
As DAMWON want to find the fight once again, though, moving towards Dia, but he can just walk away. Turret's not going to go down, but with that fight once again being towards the even trade.
And these fights are not ones DAMWON are used to. They're fights where they don't have a top lane carry, and thus they need to be a bit more coordinated. DAMWON runs straight onto the Baron with a control ward. Full reset from EVOS. Baron at 10,000.
No Realm Warp available, but teleport there for Dia on the level 17 rise. Mia up towards the top side, but Canyon might have done enough. Mia can't go in here by himself.
Doesn't have smite either.
So Baron gonna go down. And then DAMWON Gaming break it wide open.
And that's where DAMWON Gaming do make that top-class decision of trying to work out what's stuck. After a couple of messy fights, the answer was the Baron completely undefended. Let's watch the replay here as Canyon dies instantly. They got huge burst damage. What is he doing? Try to engage like that, making a mistake is the answer. But then it's another one of these wonky fights where re-engage comes in, Showmaker's able to get DivKid and kill him instantly, or at least force him out of the fight. While the death bar doesn't go down, it leaves this awkward spot where Mias is playing like DivKid and Dia are backing him up. They're not. So while he doesn't die instantly, the Papa Curse is real. It does mean that the fight is never, let's hit the same target with the Rise.
Absolutely. Nuclear staying alive in that one as well. So that's what made the difference in the end. Seems like it's going to be Nuclear versus Dia in this game because DivKid's still ramping up himself, but it's the 4-item 5, including the QSS, versus the almost 4-item ride on the side of EVOS.
Just let me tell you though, it's a Hurricane Kai'Sa with 2 evolves and a Rise who has just the most AoE damage. If you let both of them stand there and stand to attention, you're going straight to the death chamber.
Even though we have Baron buff on DAMWON Gaming, potential still there, 6k gold they want there, but it's just going to be the push away while Baron does the rest. DAMWON taking more of an assertive gold lead in this game, but at 30 minutes, still looking that element of control.
Definitely can echo that sentiment, even if we haven't been overall blown away.
That's true.
By DAMWON Gaming kind of running into this red side jungle until it finally led to a Baron. Items starting to be completed, and you know, we loved the Karma in the Karma lane, and we love the grouping Karma. At some point, Urgot can do a lot of things. However, this old school build, because it feels like it's old Urgot, right? With a build like this with just Black Cleaver for damage, you do lose out on a lot of what was added to the kit in terms of damage scaling. You have way less shielding than you did before. And it used to be, well, you've got on-command shields for days, and that interacts with magic-resistant armor, because it's like having bonus health.
That's right.
Temporarily. Yes, you have that on your E, but it's a little bit more of a window that has to be played around. So it does feel like this build, yes, it gets you in there with a Righteous Glory, and maybe you can catch someone, but if you don't get that kill, you do kind of crab leg around and not do too much in the fight.
On the toggling W, that's right. So, Amirs, remember, let's see that engage come face first, because now in the bottom side there is a potential for a pick, but the Karma being 2 levels ahead, DAMWON being once again in control. They use the Baron and they
get to walk up so easily because the wave clear from EVOS is pretty limited, and if you all in and choose the wrong timing, you just die. So smart of them to walk away, but where is the Alamo? Where is the must fight for spot? Because the Baron buff, 40 seconds away, so one more minion wave. I think EVOS are going to have to either give up this inhibitor or full-on engage.
Because where's there? The level 18 rise over by the wing. Beryl looking for the knockup onto No Way. They find it, but he gets knocked up himself. Survives with the help of the Karma Shield. As Showmaker hits one flank, the rest of DAMWON come for another. They find one. They look for the second. They go into the back one. And DAMWON lump on top of each other. Once again, onto Dia now. Needs to be the target as the Rise is left alone. EVOS have been chunked out, taken away. And the strongest member sent to the corner. Sent packing by Nuclear. DAMWON do everything in their power to shut down the VCS.
They take him down. The last stand is an unsuccessful one. DAMWON Gaming, they toiled a bit in the mid-game, but they were overall the better team. And they will mean that the LCK are 2-0 to Open Rift Rivals 2019.
Perfect start in front of the home crowd, while the VCS, we still see how they develop here after game 1, but the crowd loving what they see so far.
You have to be so decisive on your execution against a Karma Cop. Get that one target out before the shielding comes in, or use every speck of damage on one person and delete them. Otherwise, you feel something like that. They're fast, they've got damage, they can dive.